We've done an update somewhere and. Okay. Move it over to the other side, but.
All right. 9:30, so we'll go ahead and get the study session started. First item of topic today is the Tri-County Fair with Nick Atchison. You want to go ahead and come on up, sir? This would be the 27 budget request. Sorry, probably should have said that part. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure Marcus gets that, so thanks.
Anyone to go off?
Yeah, that was great, thanks.
So, done this several years, so I won't hit every little topic on the list here, but some stuff that's kind of changed, some items that we've done in the last year here. The activity center that we use for the food stand, it gets used throughout the year. The exhaust hood towards the bottom of the first page there has gotten towards the end of its life, and we are spending quite a large amount of money to keep that thing up to date so that the city and health inspections and all that stuff allow us to continue to have a commercial kitchen. So repairs have already been up to about $2,800 on that. And then just everything's getting old, so our fences have had some issues, some old wooden posts, and these winds and everything have caused quite a bit of damage. So we're working on doing a lot of repairs and replacements of that. We got a bid on 400 feet of fence at 6-foot chain link was about $6,200. That's one example of that. Top of the second page has our financials. Balance that's 6/1 this year was about double what it's typically about that time of year, and that's just due to the fact that the way things had laid out, we hadn't paid for a lot of our deposits on this year's fair. Bounce house deals that we do, the fireworks, the papers that go out to the 4-Hers and stuff, all those kind of things hadn't been cleared yet. So in 2025, our stats, we continue to have some growth. Our visits to our website almost doubled. We did have Molly B last year, so that's always a big thing. I'm not going to just say, oh, we just doubled real big, but I'm sure that had a considerable amount of impact on that. Insurance is still something that we're struggling to figure out other than the lines we're paying for there. Let's mess with that again. We've discussed with companies as far as Kansas City now, and just still have not found something that doesn't basically take our entire budget just for the liability insurance for what they're wanting for our little fair. So our rodeo numbers, demo numbers, did definitely increase last year. From the sounds of it, they're expecting a large increase on this year. At our demolition derby, they're changing some stuff up, having a team derby, and that was already sold. We did pre-entries for that, and they were all already taken in April. So some of our highlights this year, we've increased our fireworks budget for the 250th of America. I don't know how much we've talked about it, but the Tri-County Fair took over the fireworks committee as well a couple years ago here. So the fireworks stand in the activity center there, 100% of those proceeds that we get for running that go to the cost of the fireworks, the ATV poker run, that assists with that as well. And then with the Dickinson County Commission, the foundation, the economic development board, and all that, the money that we got there is going to assist in making a larger fireworks show, as well as the t-shirts. A few years ago, the Lions Club put money towards us and asked that it go to the 4-H youth, so we could give each kid that pre-entered a t-shirt. And then last year we didn't do that, and all the kids asked, where's the t-shirts? So we're glad to be able to do that again. We've got shirts that we're gonna be passing out during the night events as well as part of that. And then we have shirts available online for $17.76 as well. That can be purchased to help fair expenses and such as well. Another thing that we did is something that's been on our list to do is purchase a rodeo event timer for the barrel racing, the pole bending and whatever time events at the 4-H do. That's actually, the 4-H horse show is actually this Sunday. We're already coming up on the fair here rather quickly. So we'll get to use that timer that we've never had the benefit of before. So everyone's really excited about that. So on the last page, our funding request for the 27 budget is $8,000. And what we look to use that for is continued assistance in the 4-H, FFA, cost of ribbons, premiums, entries, and the judges, building materials for ongoing improvements, upgrading the lighting at the demo arena. Last year we purchased a bunch of lights from a rodeo committee that had dissolved. So our rodeo side, we're getting those lights taken care of, but the demo lights are just as old, if not older as well, and they're needing to be replaced as well with other upgrades. Below that is our schedule that we have for this year and what we have going. I know past years we've had commissioner rep for our parade judge. I don't know if that's been talked about again this year, but something that I know we've been working on with other counties is trying to get them to assist more. I think we're getting somewhere. If I can continue to push there. Marion commissioners seem to be on board. We just need to get them to figure out where they're going to put us in their budget as well. Everybody needs that assistance, we understand, but Morris County is definitely one that we're getting the least amount of feedback from at this time. So we are trying to continue to shake all the leaves there as well on the tree to try to help us out. So
What do they give, if anything? Either one of them.
I'm sorry.
What do either one of them fund you guys? Give you any money at all?
So Morris County has a fund from, I believe I'll call it police charges or such, DUIs or such, that they have given us some in the past. Marion County, I don't know that they've given us any for several years. However, a commissioner from there wrote us a nice substantial check last year from finding out that they weren't supporting. So I would say in the last 3 years, I can safely say that it's been about $5,000 in total. So,
Okay.
but I can say that that's $5,000 more in total than they've done in 20 years previous to that. So we're making progress. It's just
Sure.
been slow.
And my recollection on that was there's probably a period of time that since they didn't participate, then there wasn't an ask. And so then once it's fallen off, it's hard to regenerate that. And I mean, I understand we're the same thing. We aren't looking for more things to fund. We're just trying to take care of what we have in place. But I appreciate your efforts, because that's one of the directives that or suggestions that we made is, why don't you reach out to Morris County, and why don't you reach out to Marion and, see if you can get some traction. And from what I understand, quite a few of the participants are from that county and reside in Morris County and Marion. So it's not exclusive.
Yeah, our participation number last year actually went down just a few numbers, maybe a dozen if that. But our participation from Dickinson County actually went up close to 15 or 20. But yeah, we definitely have some from Morris and Marion County. Marion having more than Morris, probably. I have to look at their exact numbers, but yeah, we're open to the whole state. We do have some others from other counties that come as well. So,
But I mean, I think it reflects well just the name of your group, Tri-County, and
right.
It certainly is a Tri-County effort. And well, thank you for your work on it.
Nick, would I
can I get your permission, or would it be out of line to, I serve on the board, many boards of those commissioners also. And I do talk to them. Would you want me to remind them?
I would,
And you're-
would take any assistance.
Well, I know them pretty well, so I don't want to step out of bounds and think I'm
No.
coming behind you or anything, but
No.
with your permission, I will ask both Marion and Morris County again.
Yeah,
We'll be
absolutely.
meeting
That'd
in
be
the
great.
next couple of weeks, so.
Great help. We're,
So if you hear a call, you know that I said something.
yeah, absolutely. I know another board member who's been talking to some of the commissioners he knows from Marion County, one of our Marion County reps as well, trying to get there.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of Morris County representation on our board. So that was definitely been our more struggle as well, but
Yeah.
they do get pounded with emails and phone calls to their offices, so I hope they'll eventually respond, so.
Other questions, commissioners?
So what is the 4-H pickle power?
That's an event that they do for like wisdom and knowledge that the kids have, and basically they win a pickle.
Okay.
It's a static event that the extension boards put on, or extension offices put on to help.
So just
It's,
kind of whimsical, but has a purpose and
yes,
generates some fun.
Yeah.
Sure.
so it's a knowledge and skills test that they participate in.
Well, thank you for coming in today and presenting your budget, and we will inform you when we've made a decision.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.
Take care.
Thank you. John, come.
He is supposed to be coming at 9:45, that's what I told him.
Okay.
So,
Assume real quick.
Yeah.
You guys will want to make a comment today, right?
yes,
We really, I hate to waste your time, but it's really made more for the meeting time. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes if you want to talk, but if you want to make an official comment, you need to do that in the meeting. It's up to you. If you just want to talk to us, come on up, let's talk. But
So I can take a couple minutes right now, give you guys here to talk about
if you
it.
want to come up and talk, come on up, bud. And if you want to make an official deal, we'll do that later at the 11 o'clock meeting.
Well, this,
We're gonna have some other people in here too, so.
Yeah, we just
there's some notes on these pictures. What it is a timeline of, you got two.
Yep.
Starting at around 1803, a dog was seen crossing the road. Same owner of the dog that we have incidents with now. He had 3 dogs. My father-in-law was done with court for one. The other one got hit. And now this one is doing the same thing the first dog was doing. It's starting to show signs of aggression, coming at us, barking. In this picture you guys have the timeline. At 1803, it crossed the road over to the co-op property. At 1805, it went from co-op property to Sarah's property, right next to Chris Anderson's. And then the 2 X's, you have my name there and the dog. I had gotten done talking with my father-in-law in his camper because his house he's currently remodeling. I was walking out to come up that fence line back across the street to my house. The dog came off her porch towards me, barking, growling, and I actually had to kick rocks at it to get it to leave because it was barking, growling, coming towards me. I am medically retired combat vet from the Marine Corps. I have permanent damage down my whole right leg. I can't really run too well. So for me to run from a dog isn't happening. And with my father-in-law, of course, if I don't want to have to shoot a dog and deal with the legal consequences he's gone through, I mean, I defended the rights. I did my time in service. Feels like we have no right to protect ourselves with what's going on right now. And there's no way to tell if a dog's aggressive or not. And we've had a total of 6 incidents before that one dog got shot where we've called the sheriff's department. They've come out and talked to the individual. Then the incident happened. And since then, we've had another 4 or 5 incidents where we've called the sheriff's department. We actually just had a sheriff out there last night about this, and he's trying to talk to the individual. The individual does not care about his animals. He doesn't keep them locked up. He lets them free range. They'll go across the street. They'll go over to neighbors' properties. Nothing's getting done. On this flash drive, I have pictures and videos of the dogs, a little bit of all three of them, out running loose and barking, going across the streets and everything. Who do I give this to?
You can give it, yeah.
And there's more than just that, what's on there though. It's been going on for 2 years now, since I've been living there with my fiance. I've got my son there, I've got an 8-year-old daughter, they love being outside. He's got a bouncer he sits in with us. My daughter, she's afraid to go outside and play with these dogs. They keep running across the street, they keep barking, they keep coming at her. One dog is actually chasing my daughter from my house to my father-in-law's house. These dogs, I don't want them gone, but they need to be taken care of, and there needs to be some sort of county resolution or something to keep these dogs where they can be confined so they're not causing problems for other families. It's sad that we have to come to this, but I'm in fear for me and my kids and my family because I don't want to have to sit there and justify myself in court because I shot a dog that was coming at me or my kids. I definitely don't want to have to sit in a funeral if one of the dogs get hold of my kids. Kids are not very strong. They're weak. They're small. And it doesn't take much but an inch to hit a vital artery or something and kill something. The one bite law that's currently statewide, it has no real bearing because all it takes is one bite for someone to get killed. What do we have to wait for?
I'm not an attorney, but I'm pretty sure we have the right in Kansas to defend yourself on your property, but not off a public highway or in someone else's property. That's illegal to do that.
Well, the incident with my
So, well, and I'm not going to comment on it because that's a criminal deal. It has nothing to do with the commission.
yeah.
That is between the county attorney and the sheriff and you guys. Has nothing to do with us.
Yes.
We have no weight or bearing over the justice system. We're not in the justice wing of the government. That's
Well,
not
the way the
our
legal side is written, even if you're on your own property, if you fire a firearm within 100 feet of a dwelling, doesn't even matter if it's your own
Right.
or a public roadway. Well, all the
Can't do
houses there are within 100 feet of
So-
public roadway or a dwelling. So legally, you're still breaking the law. That's why.
Here's where I'm at. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So we can enforce the leash law. So we arrest the guy. What happens to those dogs?
Dogs go to the
No,
animal
no,
hospital
no, they don't.
or they get put down.
What if they're not there? So we're still going to have the same issue.
Yes.
I'm going to be real frank and open and honest with you guys. You guys need to have a dialogue with your neighbor.
We've tried.
I don't know what else the commission can do for you. What can I do to force your neighbor to do what he needs to do? I'm not trying to say it's not our problem, but I don't know what we can do realistically. Now, you want to enforce a leash law.
Yes.
And I'm going to make a comment. We're not going to do a back and forth here.
Yes.
That's going to cost money. We have to put an officer on that. We have to get an animal control vehicle. We have to have an animal shelter. It's not just put a guy on it and write a ticket. We have to enforce the law if we pass an ordinance, right?
Mhm.
Then you have to pay for the enforcement of the law. Now we're putting officers out there chasing dogs down. Then the same concerns come up for you as it does for someone working for us. But now it's a little bit more liable to the county because he gets bit. It's a little different, right? So that's my question. We can't afford to do that. We don't have the funds. We're cutting right now.
Yeah.
We have to cut, I mean, we're about to talk about it. We have to cut $1.8 million this year so we don't increase taxes. We can't afford to hire an animal control officer. I'm sorry, we can't. And the counties traditionally don't do that. You know, that's a city thing. Counties traditionally are unzoned or agriculturally zoned with CUPs in order to build something different. And what that kind of entails is that you're not going to have that city side of things. You're not going to have a leash law. You're not going to have a noise ordinance and stuff of that nature within reason. So that's my question to you guys. I hear your concerns and I'm sorry for your predicament. I truly am. I don't know what I can do to help you. Commissioners, you can speak, but I don't know what we can do to help you right now. We don't have the funds to facilitate a leash law. I'm just going to be straight honest with you. We just don't.
The state has failed us. The law has failed us. My grandfather, great-grandfather came here to this country in World War I just so he get citizenship. Both my grandfathers served World War II. My son-in-law was blown up in Afghanistan. My country has failed us. Failed us. They're supposed to protect us. It's supposed to be freedom. This is the United States of America, the best country in the world. Failed us. The law system, the justice system, failed us. I'm going through hell. My special needs son had to move out. I'm his legal guardian because he's a witness. He had to move out of my house. I was told to get a new guardian for him. Tell that to a 21-year-old who's mentally 13. Because the system has failed us. So 250 years? Yeah, well, I don't feel like celebrating because my justice system sucks. We're 250 years old. And the justice system hasn't come this far. It's 2026. I'm working with Laura Kelly now. I left a message. I've been talking to her team. Scott Hill with the Senate. I'm taking it all the way to the Capitol. And if I don't get anywhere, I'm taking it up to the United States. This is ridiculous. The one bite rule is literally bites first, make documentation. Bite second, it's vicious. Please. I wish they made a little taser gun that says, naughty dog, mean dog, good dog. Don't worry, it's not coming at you, it's a good dog. You know, that needs to be a stupid machine that reads. Which one? Are you nice, puppy?
I think, I mean, you're right to speak your opinion. I
Yeah, I
appreciate
know.
the fact that you're wanting to visit the governor and Scott Hill and so on. We're consistent with what other counties are. Cities have stricter regulations, and so that's why some people choose to live in cities.
Correct.
Because that fits some of the parameters of what they want.
One more ordinances.
I guess the other thing is, as Kenny mentioned earlier, that our format for this morning is we do have some other department heads and we're reviewing budget. And then, you know, I think the other thing is until maybe some of the other proceedings are settled by the court.
Yeah.
We need to kind of step back a little bit. And I mean, we're listening, but we do not have a easy remedy or a quick remedy.
Correct.
So anyway, I
understand.
you know, understandably, we need to kind of move on to other things on our agenda because we did have those scheduled. And the gentlemen are here and
Okay, appreciate it.
I was gonna ditto that. We need to let some other proceedings happen,
Yeah,
and then we need to continue talking.
Well, I guess I'll have to get arrested again. Defend myself. That's my constitutional right.
Sorry it's happening to you guys. Thank you. John, good morning.
Good morning.
Caroline MIH. Thanks for sending that really fun document.
Did you get all through that, did you?
Yeah,
It's a lot of scrolling.
riveting page turning material.
It's one right before bedtime.
so you wrote all that?
What's that?
You wrote all that?
Of course. I might have had a shorter version. Good morning and thanks for inviting me in. We did get this contract back. I think I spoke to this earlier a while ago. The MIH people under the grant have brought this company forward, probably been a year ago now, that was interested in working with Kansas and Missouri on and has worked with other states on working with insurance companies to provide funding for MIH and getting them to pay for MIH. They've done Missouri and now they're in Kansas, working with Kansas Medicaid and includes Healthy Blue. Coming up with a fee for them to pay for our services.
Thank you.
And that is in this document that you read, that the $120 per hour and prorated out in 15-minute increments, not to exceed an hour's worth of time. This would be with Medicaid and Healthy Blue at this time only. However, they are working with other companies as well, Medicare. It will be a last to pay, but they're working with that as well as looking at other private insurance. That is what it is. It was a smaller form we came through before, and we sent it to Aaron, the one we had before, and he looked it over and had some suggestions, which I followed through with those to this company, and they came back and made some of the changes and not all, but in Aaron's review of this, he found that it was acceptable the way it was, and it's coincident about, probably 10 minutes after I got that back from Aaron, I had my counterpart in Johnson County send an email and ask if our attorney had reviewed it and what they found. And he said theirs had found no issues with it as well. So we're the time right on that. So I sent him back and said that ours equally said that. And so, anyhow, I guess then we kind of have to hear from two attorneys on it, Johnson County as well. So anyhow, so that's what I'm presenting as far as the NIH side for this, to proceed with this contract with this company. We don't pay them anything. They negotiate a payment from the insurance companies themselves, so it doesn't cost us anything. It's all we're reaping is a contract with them to provide that service, and that they will pay us that amount for doing so. So
We're only in a few of the Caroline counties or agencies in the state.
in the state so far, they looked at the ones that contracted, and that's us, Ottawa County, and Norwich. Those are the three that have the grant funding with it.
So we did get the grant with it, so that's what helped put this in
That's what
place.
facilitated it, that we're the first one. However, Johnson County started their NIH program on their own. Obviously, they're not in need of the grant money that we are in Johnson County, but they started their own program a couple of years ago. So they are contracting with them as well. So that's why, because right now Medicaid doesn't pay for it in the state of Kansas. It's a new service that they don't pay for. So it won't be just us. It'll be the other counties that are providing it as well. So.
Well, and really, we're kind of a leading edge on this, which I appreciate your expertise in helping facilitate this.
It's funny you say that, because yesterday I got a request from Georgetown University, the research assistant at Georgetown University, that's seen our thing and wants to interview me on our community paramedic program for rural areas. So I haven't called her back yet, but
Let Alex do that, John.
what's that?
I said, let Alex do that.
Yeah. So.
You found it funny. That's
No.
So they, and we got, Senator Marshall is engaged with it, and his staff is very excited about it. And we did, there's a possibility that Senator Marshall himself will come out and talk to us about our program. So I'll certainly advise you guys if that arrangement is made. But so it's
I love that the federal government is interested in that. They can fund it then, right?
well, he's a physician.
Yes.
And he's a physician, so
That's what,
yeah. So he understands healthcare. So
I just can't.
so yeah, so it is gaining ground.
Yeah.
I did bring one of our community paramedics here today to talk a little about, he's the one actually doing it, and one of the ones actually doing it out in the field, and can talk about what it means to Dickinson County and what it means to the people that we serve, and give some examples of that in firsthand knowledge. And so I think that I'll turn it over and let Alex, this is Alex Leff. He's a paramedic as well as one of the community paramedics as well, and let him talk just a little bit about the program itself that we've got going in Dickinson County. So, Alex.
Right.
From there.
Yeah. Okay, like John said, I'm Alex. I've been in EMS for 12 years. Dickinson County EMS here for 9, where I serve as a EMS captain for
EMS side. On the MIH side, I'm one of the community paramedics. With the program, we kind of have two focuses. We have the individualized care, one-on-one with the patient, and then we have the community care. And so we strive to tackle both. On the individual side, how we kind of operate is we work 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's not every Monday through Friday. It depends on how our shifts lines up. Sometimes it's 4 out of 5 days, sometimes it's 2 out of 5 days. We average about 3 to 4 encounters in that 8 to 5 period. Encounters last anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes on average. Our goals are to keep people at home safe, keep them out of the hospital, keep them from going back to the hospital, and then helping them navigate their healthcare journey and the system and insurance and everything like that. So how this works is physicians will refer patients or advanced providers, so a nurse practitioner or a PA will do an online referral. Our top referrals seem to be fall prevention, medication management, ED revisits. So a patient comes to the ED, let's say 4 times in 2 weeks, and they refer them to us to see why that's happening. Is there any way that we can keep them out of the ER? Maybe it's just reassurance. Maybe it's because they're not taking their nebulized treatment appropriately. Things that they don't have time to do in the ER when they've got 14 patients waiting. And then the last is a big one. It's what we call TCM, so transitional care management. It's these patients that will have surgical procedures, hip replacements, heart stents. They'll refer us to their patient for a period of about 30 days. And our goal is to kind of tackle any things that kind of come from that post-operative complications such as strokes and things like that, or infections. Sometimes we go out and notice that they haven't picked up their 10-day course of antibiotics, so we'll help facilitate that, reinforce their discharge instructions, and keep them out of the hospital for that 30-day period from going back due to surgical complications. With that, being on doing the stuff, the two biggest impacts that we have assessment-wise is our medication audit. I wish I could tell you every single example, but it's almost as consistent as every patient has some type of medication issue, whether it is organization, whether it is mismanagement of medications. For example, I had one not too long ago where, walking in, perfect scenario, they've got blister packs from Harvey Drug, and they're spelled out nice bold letters. I walk in, and she had popped all the pills and was taking all the medication in that morning because that's what she thought it was, all the medications at one time. Well, come to find out, this was affecting some lab values that she had. And so we've got her organized, re-educated, and got some caregivers in place to kind of help facilitate that a little better. Another one we were tasked to go out to investigate some possible medication mismanagement. We get there and we found 13 bottles of medication that was mismanaged. We're either taking too much, taking too little. We were expired for like 5 years worth of medications. And we got them transitioned over to blister packs and some other type of intervention stuff. And, when we first got there, the patient was somnolent, not really looking at you. And by the time we got kind of closing up and wrapping services up, she was able to smile, we were able to joke, she was able to walk around the house, put her clothes on, so she took back some of her independence because it was looking more towards maybe going to a long care facility. And I'd like to think we kind of prevented that, and now she's at home and family's happy and everything. So some other things that we've encountered, one of the big things is smoke detectors. Smoke detectors, I don't think I've been in a house yet where we haven't found someone that doesn't have them or doesn't have batteries in there. And citizens just don't know that they can call their local fire department. And with no cost to them, they'll come out and assess the house to see if you're compliant to fire regulation and install smoke detectors. We have Abilene Fire, we just referred yesterday to a lady that's going to have 5 or 6 smoke detectors put in every room of her house because she only has one in the house in the hallway. And so, again, that's no cost to the patient, but people don't know that. And these smoke detectors are 10-year battery. Let's say they fail in 2 years, they can call the fire department back and get a new one or replace the battery. So there's a lot of research out there that patients just don't know. And so we help them navigate that, whether that's food insecurity, whether that's they need grab bars in their showers or floor mats, home modifications. And so we help facilitate a lot of that stuff. We provide a lot of medical education, lifestyle education. What we aren't experts in, we try to refer to nutritionists, dietitians, things like that, whatever insurance will cover. For an example, we had a patient that wanted some diabetic education. He has never really, what he said, never really had education on diabetes. And so I sat with him, he came to the clinic, and we spent about an hour going over different things. And he actually had asked me if I can go grocery shopping with him and his wife. And so I said, well, let me put you on the schedule. And we went to Country Mart for about an hour, and we focused heavy on nutrition labels and how to really read them. And then going through alternative sources. We don't need to eat pasta, this kind of pasta. We can do whole grain pasta, and that helps with blood sugar spikes. And so having the time to sit there one-on-one with a patient and really get their questions answered is a big impact for these patients. With that, we've had just a little over 200 patient encounters so far, and that's within a 6-month span. Doing the statistics this morning, we provided 81 clinical interventions. So about 40% of the time, we're doing some type of medical intervention that keeps these patients out of hospital. So that's wound care, that is medication administration, lab draws, things like that. Part of some of the things we also do is with these TCM patients. So these patients are hip surgery, heart caths, they'll be sent home on high doses of pain medication. And so we'll leave Narcan for them. We'll train them on Narcan. We'll train anybody in their family that wants to come train on it, the daughter, the dad, the brother-in-law, whomever. And so it's no cost to them. In county, we've got the vending machine here in town. And so, to my knowledge, nobody's had to use it.
Where's that at?
It's at the CKF?
CKF.
Yeah.
Just for the public.
Yeah. That's, and I speak a lot of the individualized care, but we also do a lot of community care. It's given us the opportunity when we're not on a one-on-one visit, we can go down to frontier states and gather around, sip coffee, and talk about interventions that we can do to prevent falls. Falls is our #1 EMS call. So preventing some of that. We went down to a church down in Harrington. We taught everyone in the congregation, hands-only CPR, how to apply AEDs. We even worked with them to try to find funding sources to get an AED and things like that. So having the opportunity to go and get the masses more than just an individual patient. So I don't want to take too much of your time. You guys have questions?
You're fine.
I think one thing that was when John started down this path and brought everybody, it's that gap between leaving the hospital and before home health comes in that was lacking. So this program has really been a huge benefit to those encounters or citizens that they're seeing. So
yeah, and not everyone qualifies for home health. There's certain criteria met, and like I said, just being able to be discharged from the hospital and I can sit with you one-on-one in your living room while you watch the Chiefs kick butt. And kind of go through your discharge plan to make sure everything is in place. Like I said, some people haven't got their medication. Some people don't understand that you take this medication for 3 days and then you take half of it the rest of the time, or you're supposed to be cleaning this wound and you haven't cleaned it for a week. And so just being able to sit and take the time to explain everything, and what we don't know, we sit there and call their physician or whoever referred and get that answer from them. So.
I think it's a great program. And we talked about it, John. My only fear is funding. Is hopefully we continue to get funding. I really like that you're talking to Senator Marshall. I think that's. I don't need to tell you this. You've been doing this long enough to know that's probably a really good way to go about it. So I'm excited for that. So keep it up.
Okay.
When we first talked about it, it made sense. I mean,
Yeah, and it's
having
it was a gamble. It was the first one in the state that was doing it in a rural area, and it's paid off.
Are we able to administer? I know there's different forms of dialysis, but the smaller form, I can't remember what that's
Like
called.
peritoneal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or-
We don't. We've had some dialysis patients, but they've all been
They'll go in.
clinic. Yeah. So we haven't had any referrals for PD dialysis or anything.
Well, to enable people to stay in their homes is very valuable. And plus, I think in most cases that helps them in their recovery
Yes.
and getting reestablished.
Exactly.
And so that's the piece that I think is very important. And
Homes where they want to be. Nobody wants to be in assisted care or nursing home
No.
care. If we can, we may not prevent it, but we may delay some of that happening. And we talked before about, the fall risk that we've encountered in doing what we can do with putting a grab rail up or a shower curtain up so they didn't have to go to the basement to navigate the stairs and fall down the stairs because they had to bathe in the basement, that sort of thing. That could have been life-threatening if they'd have had a fall. I mean, for an older person, that could be life-threatening. They could fall and die from that. So,
And some of it's not as complex as a grab bar. Some of it just may be the footwear that they have, or
Rugs.
they didn't realize they didn't have filling in their feet, so we refer them to a podiatrist, and now they,
The medicine thing you brought up, like that's telling.
yeah.
I mean, how many people are getting sick and going to nursing homes because they're not administering their medication correctly?
absolutely.
And what strain does that put on society?
You didn't mention EMS, but you talked about the increase in numbers of EMS calls,
Mhm.
which they are increasing some. So are we able to alleviate some of that? There's repetitive that they call, and they have the issues that they now call us, or we mitigate, and they don't have to call us because we're out seeing them. And so we're not tying up an ambulance, which is going to cost them an ambulance bill. If they don't have insurance, they're going to have an ER bill, and they're going to reassure them and they'll send them back home. And with that, they get about a couple $1,000s worth of medical bills, or someone does, insurance or someone does.
Right.
So that's the whole goal of it. Keep people well, keep them at home, and do what we can. And I think we're succeeding in that. So yeah, it is exciting to know that the federal government is now looking at that and saying, hey, yeah, this makes sense, and looking at ways to.
It really does. So I hope you guys get somewhere with that.
Yeah, we will. We'll keep pushing on it. So,
Well, and if the Georgetown University is also their research group, I mean, that's pretty big as
Yeah.
well, because
kind of
that's,
rural area, so.
Yes.
I'll be frank, it makes complete sense. I mean, if you really
Yeah.
abstractly look at how medical care is given, especially in rural areas, in my opinion.
It's more important in rural areas than the urban areas.
That's what I'd argue that too. You got someone in the middle of the county.
We don't have all the services they have.
well, and look at some of the smaller counties out west and the hospitals, the issues that they're having too. So if we have CP programs
Yeah.
throughout that provides some
Yeah.
gaps, fills gaps there too.
I feel really good where we're at. We went into this not knowing it, and we're 6
What a-
months into it, and we can, and Alex just named a few successes. There's many, many more that we've had. with the patients.
Would it be worthwhile to you maybe we're a little too soon yet, but for us to write a recommend, like the commission recommends something to help that? I know that they probably already know that by us accepting the program, but.
Yeah, and I'll carry that forward. If we get to the point where I feel that that's proper, I'll be right here saying that we need to do that. I will say that our grantees have been very helpful. We meet with them on a regular basis. We've got to know Missouri people very well because we're in it with Missouri and the director of EMS, the MIMSA, Missouri EMS Association, Justin rather, is really big into MIH nationwide. And he's helped us out a bunch in Kansas get started because they were doing it before us and been an excellent help. And I can call him up today if I had a question and he would do whatever he could to help us. So we're going to have our first at the Kansas conference here coming up in next month in Manhattan, the state conference. We're going to have our first MIH section of speaking on MIH that we've ever had in the state. We were invited to bring our truck up. We're going to set a booth up in the vendor area. We're going to be the first MIH service to have a vendor space there and be able to talk about it and tell the other people in Kansas about it. So it's going to be exciting. I'm doing a presentation, at least one hour presentation. Alex has been asked to do another one. So we'll have two speaking engagements of that coming up in August as well to talk about our experiences. So,
Well, thank you for your work.
Yeah, I think
Alex, thank you.
And I'd be the first one here to say, yeah, it's not worked out like we thought it would, but I can't say that. It's really providing people necessary stuff, and we work well with home health and hospice. We've had several that we went in on, and they either qualified when we got there the first time. We said, hey, that you qualified for home health and hospice, and then we call them and get them involved, or we treat them a while and they get to the point where they do qualify, and we get them on the home health and hospice, and we kind of back out of it and let home health and hospice do what they can. So we work really well with home health and hospice, and certainly not a threat. And they would say that we're not a threat to them. We're two separate. We're short term, and they're more long term.
Well, it's the relationships that have been built across the years, over the years with other agencies and other states. So, and that's a tribute to John and to our EMS department because of the work that they do, definitely. And Alex as well.
Well said.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I just want to mention about the truck. Did you talk about the trucks?
No, Marcus has got that. I'm going to have him do that next week. So, yeah.
We are getting the trucks remounted.
Yes. Yeah.
Finalized that the other day. So one will be going actually in a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Well, we're starting ours. That's going to be a full build, so we don't need to take one.
Yeah.
But I will say out of that, they're gonna the truck that's being replaced this time, they told us to keep our old one. They don't want it. So there, we will have an ambulance to do something with first of the year.
We can declare it surplus and then.
Surplus.
So.
I will put a thing out. Ottawa County bought our last one that we sold outright, and they like it very much, and they may be interested in this one because it would match the one they had before. So I'll throw it out there in the EMS world, and let people know that we'll have a used one, a smaller department that may be able to pick it up for inexpensively. So anyway, so I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. The other thing you had on there was budget.
Yes, so right now, the way Marcus has left it, we will not be exceeding the R&R, the revenue neutral rate is his plan. He needs to rework a couple numbers, but we will be able to meet that, I believe. When he's back next week, that's when he's planning on presenting. So, because you'll have to make a decision if you want to exceed the R&R, so we can notify the county clerk by July 20th. So, but I believe that we'll be able to say we won't exceed the R&R, and we will hit that 3% reduction that you had requested. So I think we'll be okay with that. So, but I want Marcus to double check everything before we.
If we get that done, in the last 2 years, what we're saying is we will have effectively, correct me if I'm wrong, lowered the tax by pretty close to 10%.
Right.
If you take the last 10 years, I'd like to know that number too. I do know it's gone steadily down, so.
Marcus had mentioned that last week.
You did.
Yes.
I want to say we're hitting 15 or 20 almost.
22, I was thinking. I'd have to go back and look at my notes.
Okay. Just for us to know.
With considering everything that we've had in front of us, including a bond payment, I mean, that's pretty big.
I think so.
So how do we arrive at income?
Yeah, that is, let's talk about it. Maybe I'm going to be a little more forthright. I think that, yes, we're going to administer these cuts. I think Janelle and Marcus would probably agree with me here. I don't know if they're as sustainable as we think. In other words, next year, we're going to have to either cut more or, find revenue to prohibit that. But
Well, I mean, the problem is if you want to call it overhead or just the cost of operating a normal business, whether it's a household or a business or the county. Insurance seems to trend upwards. Whenever we have to buy a piece of equipment, it's going to be at a price that it was before. And so, there's not many places to find that it's level expense wise.
Right.
well said, if incidentals, indirect costs never rose, we probably would never have a problem. But you said it right. Insurance is going up every year. I don't remember what we were accounting for this year. I know it was a pretty big increase.
It was, yes. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but we'll touch on that. So
Let's talk insurance. Let's talk employee insurance for the employees here.
right.
We switch every year to get the best price we can on insurance. And frankly, some insurance is very good.
Right.
You know, and I know. What happens if the county only pays half the insurance, but gets good quality insurance?
That is something that we absolutely are talking about with our insurance broker, and they will be coming in and we'll take a look at that. I wish I could tell you it's going to go down, Ron. It's not.
No, but I mean, the county can't keep paying
Correct.
premiums. Bottom line, it can't.
Right.
It's either no insurance or
Or we'll pass it on to the employee.
the county pay half,
Mhm.
but not, I'm a quality person. I don't need junk.
Right.
Whether it's equipment or what, I want quality because we end up doing well with that.
Mhm.
It's the junk that's costing us, even in our purchases, good quality material.
Right.
Watch what we're doing on our purchases, but insurance is very important. Because you have good insurance that we're paying for and it's not doing anything for the employee.
Right. It helps attract employees.
Yeah.
So we have an insurance committee though,
Okay.
Our
also.
safety and wellness committee would be.
And so I guess that's something that needs to be communicated to the employees
Mhm.
by department heads and elected officials. What are your thoughts on that?
Right.
And of course, the thing we run into, there's also some that do not need county insurance.
Mhm.
And so for them, it's not really a benefit. I mean, and there's probably other cities and counties that pay different percentage levels of how they match it with the employee.
We have never done that. I know that's been a question that's come up, but it's their choice if they want to take the health insurance or not. That's how it's always been treated.
Mm-hmm. No, I meant as far as what the county pays,
Right.
what the employee.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And so there may be some place that I do, I think that's a great point, Ron, that you want quality insurance and you don't want to have to be in a place where you show up somewhere and it's like, oh, well, this isn't covered
Right.
by yours. But if you go over here, it will be, or.
I'm gonna ditto this a little bit. I don't know what it would look like to go back to a Blue Cross, but cover half. We did this in our company. We went to Aetna.
I mean, Blue Cross did this last year and it was astronomical.
I know.
It was crazy. And even going 50% was still going to be higher than what.
There's some points to what he's making.
No, absolutely. I understand that.
It's better to cover 50 and actually get coverage than cover 75 and not get any coverage. You're basically.
But I
getting the
can't
same
say
deal.
that we have a lot of employees that are not getting coverage under the current plan.
Okay.
I
Well, that's
really
a
can't
question we
say.
ask.
And that'll be a question that we'll talk with our,
How many claims were put up and not
right.
given?
And our insurance broker will bring that to us.
That's probably a good question.
And I know it
Rob.
doesn't always work, but there's health incentives or fitness things that people
Yes.
can do. And
Yeah.
sometimes if they're reminded of that and told of these opportunities and the other side of that is, unfortunately, whether it's someone here or someone we know out in the community or elsewhere, I mean,
Right.
sometimes people just run into difficult, expensive
Right.
procedure type things and they're life threatening and they're,
Mhm.
it involves many surgeries and
Right.
many treatments and so on. And all of us want to be healthy, but that's what the insurance companies
That's what they.
get into is statistically what is the likelihood of one or two or three people
Mhm.
having major events.
Yeah, those are all questions that we will be bringing up with our broker and with the committee. So,
Now that's Buckety,
Katie,
Katie. Well, I like to
Buckety,
pronounce it various ways.
okay, yeah. Oh.
No, thank you.
The only other area, this isn't going to be a very popular public discussion, but I'm going to bring it up, is staffing. You said it best, operations operate with humans. If we keep the same amount of employees, we're not going, that's not, at some point, we're going to either have to make some hard decisions if we don't want costs to go up and there is no more revenue coming in. And I'm just saying that for the public record, because I'm worried about next year, Frank. Because if we don't have a big growth, I think that's some of the things we're going to start talking about.
Well, and that's a conversation that we've started with our managers and elected officials, and we will continue that,
And the legislature is going to continue to try to look for ways to change the formula.
Yes.
And, the part that I hear back from people time and time again is, well, if the valuations wouldn't go up. But that's not really.
We don't control the market. That's the thing.
Yes, and it's market driven to a certain extent. If a stock or your CD goes up 3 or 4% or 8% or 10%, we're glad it's trending upward. Even though someday we might sell a house,
Mhm.
if that house goes up that trend, 3%, 5%
You want
a
to,
year, after 10 years, that amounts to quite a bit of money and
And the government will take 30% before you go home with it.
well, it's true.
So it ain't all that profit.
True.
Yeah, and I think and I understand the citizen argument, I really do, because I'm one of them. Which is we're taxing unrealized gains. We're not taxing gains that we realize. When you pull your stock, you get capital gains tax because you're actualizing that gain. If you leave it in there, it doesn't get taxed.
True. That's a good point.
So I get, this isn't, I don't think, on the county, it's a state level discussion of,
Economic.
is that how we want to continue to fund the government? And to be frank, it is a state level discussion.
It is, because counties and cities, not as much, but counties primarily, our largest source of revenue is property taxes.
Three stools, right?
Supposed to be,
Three pigs in the stool.
but it's not. All these exemptions that are allowed at the state level, that impacts us greatly. We cannot realize those dollars.
I have had several people mention the last year, though, that they appreciated the fact that we eliminated the intangible tax.
Mhm.
So that actually reduced some people's taxes, you know, $10, $15, $25. There were some people, it was hundreds of dollars or thousands
Mhm.
more of that type. And, you know, so we have looked for ways to lighten the tax load
Right.
and have it be equitable. But there's so many variables, and
The other conversation is sales tax. I'm not proposing adding another sales tax, but do we think about using sales tax to fund more stuff? You know, right now, we have a 1% sales tax that help funds
County.
the capital improvement or the roads.
That's a
The
half
road and
cent,
bridge, half cent.
half cent, quarter cent for the communications, and that will be going off. And then the 1% is just to fund general operations.
when does the 1% go up?
20.
We just did that, so I think we have, we're just starting our payment on it, so I think we have four years of collections on it, so
I think 29.
29, yeah.
We passed it in 24.
Yeah.
It'll be easy in 2030.
We're a long ways out. I
Right.
know, we gotta get there, but you talk about revenue.
About the road one sooner, though.
At some point, I think, I don't know if it'll be us, but I think some point the commissioners are gonna have to say, we might have to institute another sales tax to keep revenue, keep property tax from raising.
We have our, right, because the expenses continue to rise.
And really, if people react to where they're having to make the payment,
Right.
and, you know, all things considered, that's a regressive tax, and
I know.
yeah.
It's not one that I think you should build funding on personally, but special projects is one thing.
Right.
Funding and operation,
And there's limitations on
It's
what
very-
sales tax for.
dicey there, but.
No, we have gone through, and I mean, not official, but kind of it's plugged in on the numbers, the outside agencies that we're reducing
Right.
any of those.
Right.
And
You'll have to make a decision on the one presented today, but
it'll be interesting, the feedback we get on that, because typically when you're involved in a group or you have a passion in a certain area, it's like, you know, this one is valuable and this one is great for many, many reasons. So if you lower taxes, do it on someone else's, and, you know, this is going to kind of cut across quite a few groups. And yet, you know, that's the same thing as we've stepped them all up a little bit over the last decade.
right.
You know, actually. It's really hasn't. I asked her this morning where it was, I think it's 14, you told me?
In 14, it was a little over, what I say, 542,000
Something like
or
that.
something like that.
It's really.
For outside organizations.
Okay.
This remained, we've kept it pretty flat in the last 10 years.
We've had a few changes, you know, when the extension council fell off, but the EDC came up higher. I mean, it's just a few things like that. So I was gonna,
I think I know where you're getting at here, and I really like those organizations. There's a part of one of them, I think it is doing really good work, like Ron said. But if brass tacks, at the end of the day, if we said you either are you have to fire 3 deputies or keep the outside, I'll tell you where I'm gonna vote.
we have our statutory obligations.
Yes, maybe it's a better way to say it. I don't think we're there yet, but I do think that conversation might be coming. It is a lot of money. We give almost 2 mills out there. You know, I mean, that's. Here's an open conversation for everybody.
Do we want to discuss any of the one this morning that we had? Because we don't have that really.
Right, it's
reflected. And he had the
entirely-
$8,000.
I think what he's got in there is 5,500 because that's what the request was last year. Or the year before, pardon me. Last year you gave them 12, and then the year before was 5,500.
I think we dialed it back down to the 5,500, what we decided or talked about. Should say decided.
Well, the only thing when they did talk about the kitchen piece of it for that hood, have an unexpected expense. I don't know if that's a.
I see what's going on down there and he's not said a lot. And I know we're trying to do the best we can with what dollars we have, but they need help. And he presented it in a nice collaborative deal, but they need a lot of help. So whatever we can do.
Is the city of
I like it,
Harrington
though.
giving
Going
them
down to the
money
counties.
outside of the?
No.
Okay,
Give them sweat equity.
okay.
So I can't believe the other counties don't get more.
And I'll get with them.
Well,
Probably
yeah.
need to.
Yeah, they were kind of
I
off.
was gonna
the hook,
text
and
Joe.
so they
and
never started.
I mean, I
Mike
just.
Mickey's one of them, Commissioner, and John Barber.
I know John would be, so I'll text him.
Yeah, well, I'll do the same thing, but we'll get them on. Timing of asking for this stuff is critical. As Lynn says, you can't go in there at the end of the year and expect them a commission to mess their budget up. You got to get in the right time, but maybe we need to have some dollars setting aside. So, and they do a good job. I judge their parades and they have a nice deal. It's really going on pretty good. I mean, 3 county
A lot of
deal.
community volunteers.
Yeah, yeah.
You want me just for next week, have Marcus leave the 8,000 in there and that way you know, or do you want him to put it back down to 5,500 or what are your thoughts there?
I was just thinking a little bit in between. I don't think we can go 8, but I mean, and be consistent with what we did with the others, but.
Mhm.
We've done 12 the year before.
For
You
me,
did 12 a year
We did.
for this year.
I help them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly. They don't, I mean, you look at some of the others and they're,
I mean, do
this is pickles compared to. a lot
you
of
think
other
7,000 or 7,500 or is
things.
that?
Lynn, I'm gonna beg for everything we can get down there. Just, I'm not, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm just.
I'm not trying to be
kinda-
funny, but I'm
And
also,
that's why I brought it up. I
Yeah,
thought
no, I-
55 was low.
I'm not trying to be, I don't wanna, I just wanna help them.
Now's the time to say though.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I wanna help them.
I'd rather you say, I'd rather hear an exact number, 8, 7,500, 7,000.
I'd like to see them have 8.
Okay. And I was just a little bit below that.
I mean, good. And I'm not doing just for words. I usually go down and check
Mhm.
the things. People talk a lot and you don't know exactly what to believe. You gotta have a look.
Well, like the fence posts and so on, I mean, I understand some of that and that probably, you hate to defer stuff, but some of that could be put off, but I just thought
Yeah.
maybe that kitchen
Oh, these guys,
piece on that hood, that's pretty expensive.
they're not lazy. They're hard workers. They're just, hard working you can work all hard you want, but it doesn't make money. You gotta have money to make money. So,
I just wondered if when they came up with 8, they were reacting,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
not ask for 12 because they're supposed to cut back and.
well, if you looked at that, the year, the 250 celebration, when they put that out, they thought that was for this. And I think requested 30,000, I think, or something like it was some high
It
amount
was a lot.
because they're needing money.
And there's probably some others in the county that could bring that same argument forward.
Oh, absolutely, Lynn, absolutely.
But I do like the idea they have some tangible things that they're talking about that. And that's.
Yeah.
Kitchen equipment piece, that's not gonna have to be on the budget next year. Once they have that, that should take care of it for 4 or 5 years.
I think
Or actually longer than that, so.
I think in the future, probably some of our discussions ought to be with the town there and their representatives, city manager and stuff. Well, why can't they put in a little bit more cash?
So did we come to a consensus on the dollar amount that you want me to have them put in? I didn't think so.
I'm asking 8.
I'd say 75.
I'm an auctioneer, so I'm asking.
I'm not, and that's not much difference really.
75, 8.
Hey, if they can come through from Marion and Morris, then
Well,
they'll put them over. Help with.
Okay, well, I'd like to ask to spend some money, so at least to have a little discussion here. So
Well,
how close?
my
to
fellow
Ross-
commissioners are higher than what I would have gave them. But I'm not gonna buck the odds too much here. Why don't we, 78, 75? How do we feel? Can we come to a compromise?
I'm still sticking at 8.
That's okay.
We'll see if we get the vote, 7,500. That would be my proposal to the agenda.
Well, we can plug that number in
we can plug it in.
and then see what
We still gotta
Marcus
vote
comes
on
up
it at
with.
the
You
end of the
know,
day, guys.
he may come back next week and say, look for another 5, 10, 15,000 we can cut back. I mean, he may not. He may, or maybe we have more wiggle room than what's.
I'll have him put the 7,500 in, and if you want to go up another 500, you certainly can do that next week after he gets all the numbers in.
Ron, I kind of trained it up a little bit just from listening to what you said and your interest in it. So I'm not really disagreeing with you. I'm just kind of shaving it back just a little bit.
I got an idea.
I like the idea that
I got an
he'd
idea.
go to Morris and he'd go to Marion.
We can give them 8. Let's cut 500 from somewhere else. I'm gonna stop. I'm teasing. I'm honestly open to both, guys. I think that we have a way to fund it with that 75, but I don't know if we're counting that 75 into your numbers right now.
I don't know if he's done that yet or not.
So I'm not like, does that make?
Gives
Well,
him something to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to pencil those numbers
Right.
anyway and bring.
In other words, I don't think it's gonna be an increase overall as well.
No, it will not. It will not. So
Sure.
So with that being said, no, I would be open to either one. Let's just go to it and we'll vote on it.
Well, and keep.
Let us chew on it a little bit.
Okay.
We don't know yet, Janelle.
okay.
Keep in mind too,
Well,
we
yeah,
have
if
we
we
have
just,
5,500 plugged in, so
Okay.
you've.
well, let me do my
you've
thing here
pulled
with the
us up by
commission.
the bootstraps a little bit.
I'll get up there with these guys if I can't.
Okay.
It's all right for us to debate, guys.
And think about it a little bit more. Absolutely.
There might be some more
Have we heard from
essential,
everybody?
serious discussions on some others,
Have we heard from everybody?
Yes.
items that we have.
Okay.
So next week, we'll be just kind of wrapping up some things, answering any questions, or if there's more information.
When are we wanting to finalize the budget?
If we're not going to exceed the R&R, then we'll finish up this month, which probably another couple of meetings, and then hold the hearing on August the 20th.
And also July 16th.
You're gone.
I'll be, out of the States.
Right. And any other trips planned this month that I need to be aware of?
Yes.
That's what I was,
I
I think Alex is going to
we may not
Georgia.
have a quorum.
what, is it that week?
Yeah.
I thought it was the week after.
Is it?
I thought it was the week of the 20th.
Let me look. Let me look at my ticket. I don't lie. American Airlines. I'm gonna be going to a business conference right around that time.
I'll be going to Ponderosa Pines, cutting cedars out of a pasture.
If there's free beer, I might go. Morning, Mr. Peterson.
It's just starting.
There you go. July 16th through the 18th.
Oh, the 16th through the 18th? Okay, so we will not hold a meeting on the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, first one.
Well, and the thing is, if we have something come up after that, we can meet Monday at a special meeting if you can't wait till Thursday.
I'd be open to that too.
So I think as long as you're able to, other than that whole week I'm gone.
Gone, yeah, right.
The 11th through the.
And I have you down gone that whole week, so, okay,
Yeah, and I think we leave the 16th, so.
okay. We'll just, right now, we won't hold a meeting then. So this came up this week, the request to consider purchasing 2 digital signs, and it's just on the study session. So we use the digital signs across the county. We do have 4 currently. 2 of them are pretty much in use constantly, and right now they're in use because of the unofficial detours for the K-15 projects. But we'll use them for the election, and we'll use them throughout the county. We had them down on 500 Avenue when we closed that road, just to notify the public. Martin has got in his budget in the special highway fund, 40,000 to purchase it for this year. It was planned for, and these are coming in at 36.5. So I would just ask that, well, first see if you have any questions, and then consider adding it to the agenda for next week. It'll take 3 to 5 weeks for delivery. They couldn't give Billy a hard date on that, so.
I'm not trying to be a pain here. I realize that you already have these and you're comfortable using them, but shouldn't we bid a few more people?
So the biggest reason is we're using the same vendor. We're familiar with it. They could be interchangeable for parts. We can go on our phones actually and update them in that. So, and I don't know what other sign companies are out there. I will double check with Martin and see, or Billy, and see.
It's the only question I got.
What's your
Absolutely.
anticipated number on that?
So 36.5 is to buy 2 of them. And it just roll right into the.
How long ago did we buy the others? I'm just trying to, so,
We bought.
I mean, that's the other thing, is it,
We bought them during like 19, yeah, during COVID-19 or 20, and they have been used constantly, so.
so 5 to, I mean, actually 10 years
Mhm.
lifespan is reasonable.
Yes, easily. No,
I guess that's the other thing I look at, is if it's $3,500 a year, really, for 10 years, is what we get used.
and as much as they're used, we've used them when when 14th Street was closed, we used them for the fair, we've used them to.
No, I'm not arguing at all that
No,
that we don't need them. It's just, is there more to bid?
Right.
Are we following the
Where
bid
would that
policy?
save us? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only question.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then you explained that it's in our equipment fund.
It's in the special highway fund, yes, yeah. And we didn't purchase 2 of the signs before Homeland Security dollars were used for them, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, you okay? You want to add that to our agenda next week?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
I don't think Lynn would oppose.
and I'll get on around the other thing for the other 2 commissioners right away.
Okay. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, guys.
Do they get sponsorship from businesses too? Do you know?
I don't want to answer that wrong. I don't know.
I think they do.
Presume, but yeah.
So the other question that I have for you to consider or think about is, we just experienced an open position in the highway department. A young man just up and left. How long do you want me to wait before we fill it? Or do you want to fill it?
What position?
He was an equipment operator 2.
What's not going to get done by not having that position?
Well, it just pulls our foremans. And they're, not that they're not doing physical work, they are. It just means that they're just doing more of it, so they're not managing the people, they're actually physically doing the work. What's not going to get done, they're done with the paving this year. We're clearing trees, we're mowing. It's not a mechanic position, so he wouldn't be doing anything like that. We'll start with obviously blading. I don't think he was in the blade.
Personally, I'd say hold it for a few months and see how things go.
That's what I figured.
Me personally, you know.
He wasn't mowing, was he?
We'll roll it to some other guys to.
Was he mowing?
I don't know if he was off the top of my head, but
Because I bragged on him, whoever was doing the mowing did a really good job.
Yeah, they were.
most likely not because he hadn't been here that many years.
Yeah.
She asked about, there was an open position in Highway Road and Bridge for an operator. She asked how long we wanted to keep it open. I suggest a few months. Let's see how things are going.
The biggest impact will be this winter then if we need somebody in the trucks to clear roads. Okay. Did you have any question on anything on the agenda that we could answer? Or do you want to take a couple minute break?
Take a break. I think we'll take a break. We got some emails we probably need to read before today's meeting. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break and we'll come back to the regular meeting time at 11 a.m. in about 9 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
I don't see anybody.
Go there. Where's that? Roll.
Oh, looks more like Germany or something. Probably not too much more.
It'd be pretty cool to stay up in there.
Yeah. Yeah, looks more.
Like a castle or something.
You know, a lot of times they would build those corridors, but they also were like walls to keep the enemy from coming in, so.
You see on television, you know, when the knights and stuff would fight the armor and the shields they would carry and the thing. Are those things real? I went to a few of those castles in Europe. You can't pick them up. You'd have to be strong. An average guy today couldn't hold one of those shields up protection. Yeah, they're that heavy. You're not. It's not. They were strong guys. Or have you ever been to Vegas and watched them do the jousting where they charge each other with those, you know, crazy stuff.
No. Barbara, I figured we'd have more people in here today.
Everyone's in the field.
Everyone working?
The only reason I'm here is my combine staff.
Well, I'm sorry.
Me too.
What do you guys run? Gleaners?
Is to be delivered in much in
You got a newer one?
uh,
Okay.
R65. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's a Cummins. Yeah, delivered. They don't talk about your work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Gleaners, what Cummins do they have in there? I think. Still cutting, obviously, still cutting wheat. Been that wet?
Training them.
Is it?
Are the weeds bad out there though? Some,
In one patch is coming.
is it?
We didn't anticipate combining on this long.
Are your yields okay?
They have been.
Good.
Some surprises, good and bad. Yes and no.
I just keep reading the crop reports and it pretty consistently tells me 15 bushel below
We
average.
had our expectations that low, so.
Yeah. You read them and that's how they've been the last few years though. There's no good news coming out of the crop reports, I feel like.
Oh, there was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they're edged.
I see a lot of corn too. I hope this rain persists. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
It's 6, 8 foot tall corn already in Kansas.
But this corner, but it lives in Kansas.
Yeah. It swelter a little bit. I've seen a lot of rust. I think it's rust on my trees. It looks like rust.
What kind of tree?
Maybe cherry blossom. Little red dots.
Yeah, if you rub it, red comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's thousands of kinds of rust.
Is there?
What hits corn isn't the same for each tree.
Oh, okay. I'll go read about it. I don't want to kill my tree. Yeah, no. That was I planted that when I got that house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of special to me. Never thought I'd be attached to a tree, but I am.
Right?
Hey, put your time and care into something. Care about it. Yeah. I'll go look it up. It said I had to put some spray on it. They said, and water it with some solution, put something on the ground and water it. Something like that. Or they just said it's like a dry material, whatever, you just sprinkle it. Said it helps. Something about fungus too. I read a little bit about that. I might have fungus in my yard if I got problems with that. I don't know. I don't know.
It's raining on.
I'm out of my element here.
I mean, it's.
I don't grow plants. I'm trying.
Crops, yeah, ornamentals, way too many options.
We grow steel and iron and
Right?
a little bit different crop.
Yes.
FIFA World Cup was in Lawrence. You see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Anybody go? No? Okay.
Or what?
Well, too busy harvesting.
I didn't hear it.
So there was a World Cup in Lawrence, or the fans were there anyway.
I think they had one of the teams staying there. Didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all K-Staters in here, but
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm full of people that don't like my team.
Is
You.
that where you went? I like KU. I don't have a
What is
preference.
wrong with you?
Yeah, tell her rock chop.
Yeah, okay.
Tell her we came up with the original saying.
Oh, whatever.
It was sad that Marcus missed out on his,
Only 'cause
Alex's example of the Chiefs.
Okay.
People watching the Chiefs on TV.
Yeah.
It was sad, wasn't it? We'll have to have him watch it.
He chose the, well, we can tell them about it. If each of us tell them about it, it'll.
To make it better.
How are you doing, Arden?
Well, hello,
You're here. Yeah.
I'm here.
anything on notices.
I think so. We had, it wasn't a notice. Wasn't too strong with this guy. It's and I appreciate you coming in and doing these for us. I really do. Thank you.
Also, we're not going to meet 2 weeks from now. county meeting.
You're gonna meet next week.
Next week we will,
Okay, well, that's good.
on the 9th, but the 16th, we do not have a meeting.
Okay.
So,
You can still come, no one's gonna be here
Let
hard.
somebody else pray for you.
yeah, you can pray for us at home. Well, it's an exciting time with it. 4th of July and the 25th.
Call this meeting to order. If we'd all rise for the flag salute. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If we'd all remain standing for the prayer, Mr. Arden Peterson.
To start with, I'd like to share some parts of a devotional. I use a KJIL devotional, among others. And the verse is from Psalm 103, verse 2. May I never forget the good things he does for me. And it says here, if you woke up this morning with more health than illness, you are more blessed than the million people who will not survive this week. If you have never experienced the danger of battle, the loneliness of imprisonment, the agony of torture, or pangs of starvation, you are better off than 500 million people in the world. If you can attend a church meeting without fear of harassment, arrest, torture, or death, you are more blessed than 3 billion people in the world. If you have food in the refrigerator, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of the world. If you have money in the bank or in your wallet or spare change in a dish someplace, you rank among the top 8% of the world's wealthy. If you can read this devotion, you are more blessed than over 2 billion people in the world who cannot read at all. There is always somebody who is worse off. The idea is to heighten our Christ-like compassion and give us a sense of gratitude that spills over into Thanksgiving every day. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we celebrate the 4th of July, which is the 250th year of our country, I just give you thanks, Lord, for the Christian people and the Christian basis that our country was founded on. And Lord, we are blessed as a country, and sometimes we don't stop and think about it or don't realize it. But of the many things that I talked about earlier in the devotional, Lord, that we're not troubled with them here so much. Heavenly Father, I just pray that we can stop and think about what you have done for us through the gift of your Son, and that we know that you want the best for us. Heavenly Father, I just pray now that you would give wisdom to decisions that will be made by the commission, that the Holy Spirit can guide them in decisions that they make. And we thank you for all the public servants that we have in our area, whether it be local or county or state or whatever. And we just pray that you bless them. We pray too for all the people that are going to be traveling on this July weekend. Pray for safe travel and that they'll use good common sense as they travel. And Heavenly Father, again, we just are so thankful for the many, many things you do for us and for our great country. And I pray all this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the agenda for today. Today we have 2 items on the agenda. We have agenda 070226, amending resolution 020124, establishing fees for judges and clerks of elections and providing mileage for the supervising judge. We have resolution 070226A, resolution providing a temporary moratorium on commercial data centers, battery energy storage systems, and large-scale renewable energy technology development, with the exception of those currently defined, enabled in Article 1 of the zoning regulations within the unincorporated areas of Dickinson County, Kansas. That being said, that is our agenda today. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Moving down to consent agenda. Did you mean to put payroll dollars in here?
I have payroll dollars on my printed copy.
Thank you, sir. Minutes are provided from the June 25th meeting. Payroll of $420,163.67. Utilities of $13,944.40. Health insurance of $174.25. And special checks for $6,125. Do I have a motion to approve the consent?
So moved.
So moved. I'll second. We'll steal it from you.
Yeah, I get it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Thank you. Moving down to Commissioner comments, committee reports. I think I started last week. Ron, do you want to start this week?
I will. I want to take a few minutes just to thank all our producers out there for the hard work that they're doing. This harvest is coming up here and they're working pretty hard. Some fields are getting done. Some fields are pretty tough. Some are pretty soft, but we need to be thinking about them for their safety and well-being and thanking them for feeding us. There's no better place to buy food than from our own producers.
Thank you, Ron. Lynn?
Just adding on to that, corn's looking pretty good. So, but I know there's lots of challenges out there, and we are a very rural county, and it's important, and just wishing people to be safe also this 4th of July and in the many celebrations for the 250th for our country. And Arden, thank you for that reading you had from that KJIL. And I think sometimes we're surrounded and we hear about many problems, but we forget the gratitude part, that we also have many blessings. And that's certainly an encouragement that all of us can enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. I'm going to ditto that. Being a guy who used to help farmers, look out for them farm hands trying to get to Milford Lake on the weekend, trying to get back in the morning in time for work. So maybe look out for them too. But no, in reality, look out for the equipment. I know there's stuff rolling around, so slow it down a little bit. We don't need to go 80 down the highway. That'll be all I have to add for my report today. No petitions or proclamations today. We are going to go ahead and enter a brief period for public comments. If County Administrator General Dockendorf would read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comment shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Do you have any comments at this time? I can't see that.
They updated the go-to webinar, so it's not popping up with anybody has their hands up right at this moment.
And we got one here.
Arthur at 900 Avenue, Rural Hope. Good morning, commissioners. I wasn't able to attend last week's meeting, but I did watch the replay, and I just wanted to clarify a couple things. As you know, I'm a member of the Planning and Zoning Board, and I feel like our communication can improve. It kind of feels like we're in the ultimate game of telephone in making sure we need to make sure that what the zoning board says is being relayed to you accurately. For example, in the last meeting, I had requested an industrial hygienist to speak to our group regarding industrial development, energy development. It was reported in the paper and in last week's meeting of a hydrologist. And so the hydrologist would be the study of water, which I think is very important. But specifically what I was asking for is an industrial hygienist. These are certified professionals whose primary job is to evaluate industrial and large commercial scale industries, identify risk, identify mitigation matters for those risks. So I just wanted to make sure we're getting the correct people in front of us.
We are.
So industrial hygienist is what we were looking for. As far as there was a comment about, should it be for 2 years, a moratorium for 2 years, what's taking so long? I don't know that that lies on the board. The agenda is set by county staff. The board has asked how we get items on the agenda. We haven't really received an answer to that. I don't know if bylaws need to be amended. Alternate energy came before the board starting in January of 2026. We had approximately 21 pages of potential regulations to review, covering 6 big industries, and we were told that staff needed more time to research. And everyone needs more time to research. And I believe part of research is allowing the public to ask questions. Yes, you are elected, we are appointed, but we are elected and appointed to serve the people. And the people have questions. There have been multiple meetings. They haven't been allowed to ask questions. When speakers have been in, the public's not allowed to ask. I understand holding the meeting decorum, but there's a fine line there of not allowing people to ask questions and running a meeting. I believe there is a way to allow public to ask questions and feel like they've been heard. The only way you build trust is by allowing people to speak and ask questions. So I know that you've asked for comments today. We have a short crowd today, lots going on in front of a short holiday weekend. I hope people have emailed you. I understand some have. But anything covered here could have a huge positive or negative impacts to our community. Are we taking the easy yes, or are we asking the hard questions before we vote, or just make a decision either way? So that's what I've got this morning. Any questions for me?
And the time frame that you had come up with for your PBC was for the moratorium?
We had recommended 2 years. Yes.
And-
There was discussion of the way the June 4th of 24 resolution was written. It was solar and other. Some members of the boards felt that and other covered a lot of bases. A question brought up was, should we set a moratorium for each individual project? Should you say solars and set different boundaries to kind of prioritize it? For example, and just an example, should you put solar at 3 years? Should you put data centers for 1 year? Should you put nuclear at 2 years? You know, and that would allow you all to give us input of what the priority is based on the length of time. But should we encompass it all in one, or have an individual moratorium for each type? I don't know. It's a discussion point.
I'm gonna add something. You talked about you can't take questions. You guys are not setting policy. I want to make that very clear. Commission are elected to do that. You are appointed as an advisory board to give us advice on what at-large citizens think about a certain permit or regulation that we're going to pass. That's the facilitation of why you don't take questions. You have yes, you can give us your recommendation. That's not going to change the policy. I just want to make sure that's clear. The policy gets passed here, right? So you give us your policy recommendation, your recommendation. And I do encourage the questions to come here, because yes, you can propose a new recommendation, but at the end of the day, it needs to come in front of the policymakers, right? It's very similar, I think, to how the state conducts its business in terms of any federal. You're going to go to the committee, to the chairman, to that committee to make your point of why it needs to change, and you get in front of the policymakers. So although I understand why you want to take questions, I don't know what benefit you're gonna get out of it.
Are we getting the right, I mean,
Because let me give you an example. Let's do a more heated topic, right? Then what if you get 200 people and they're at 7 o'clock at night wanting to ask you a question? You want to do it?
it's what we signed up for.
Okay.
Somebody has to take the questions.
Yeah, and that's why I want them here.
And if we're talking about it, and I've observed other counties, being fairly new to the board, I've observed how other counties do this.
Mhm.
Some counties, their commissioners show up to the Thursday at 7 o'clock for zoning. There's pluses and minuses to that.
Exactly.
Right. It's also hard for some folks to be here at 11 o'clock. Somehow, we have to come up with a solution.
What
where
about
people feel like they can be
what
here,
about an alternative path? Do we set a special meeting?
possibly.
Because although I understand the merits of what you're saying, I get what you're saying, you need to hear it. It's not like you can't talk to them. I mean, there's no rule prohibiting you from having a conversation with a member in the crowd. So,
Some people want to be heard in a public forum.
okay.
And I have conversations all the time. People stop me in the grocery store, church, whatever. I'll happily have the conversation with you. And if I can't, I'll tell you and we'll.
You know why I want it done here? Because it's hearsay.
Correct.
I want to hear it. I don't want to hear you tell me what you got told, what you think you got told, and what you perceive to be told.
So it's recorded here too.
Right, and it's recorded there too. But that's my reasoning. Like, I want to hear that, and I do read these emails.
Okay.
I mean, trust me. So that's like, I'm just trying to point that out. Like, we need to hear it.
We all need.
Not hear from
Yes.
Barb about what
Correct.
somebody said. Not hear from Tim about what somebody said.
And if people come to me, I ask them, thank you for sharing it with me. Please share it with your commissioner
Right.
also.
So, and then I'm going to address the agenda items. The advisory board's role is to set regulations and recommendations to the county commission, and it is to set recommendations and regulations on CUPs. That's why the agenda is to take on what's coming in as business, not to create agenda.
And the text amendments.
Correct.
Right. But when it comes to the text amendments, my feeling is folks have wanted to talk about things and it's never on the agenda, or it takes.
So here's what I would request,
Yeah.
because what can be done is the commission can set your agenda. So if you guys think there's come give us an agenda request for proposal. We do it here all the time. That's what I would suggest. And your chairman and your board, I don't see why you can't do that. I have no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. It just needs to be done correctly.
Sure.
So that's the reason. I mean, I'm just trying to answer it. Like, the reason for your board is to conduct business on those, those different things. So,
Correct.
so that's why you guys aren't allowed to create an agenda, because you're supposed to hear what's coming. So if you start creating an agenda, you're going to hear what's coming and then what's going to happen and how things flow, and it changes everything. So it needs to, in other words, if you want an agenda item, come to the commission.
We could do that.
And I would like to add that last week, we also noted that during discussions on text amendments to the zoning regulations, after the planning and zoning board has discussed it, then we'll open it for public comments. That's going to be our practice. CUPs are different because it's set in statute what we have to do, and you have to remain fair and impartial with what you're doing.
And I
So
agree with that.
we're making our changes.
And the text amendments are the hot topic.
Right.
And yes, state statute, we have to have public comment at certain times.
Here's what I don't want. I don't want a citizen coming to your board, giving a comment thinking, I just told the commissioners what I think.
Correct.
Then it doesn't actually come to the policymakers. That's my point. We need to hear it.
And I think as advisory, we need to hear it also. Because, sometimes there are things people think of that that the seven of us hadn't.
True.
So it needs to come, I think, to both parties.
Okay.
To give you a good recommendation. Because what's the purpose of zoning? At the end of the day, like where's the purpose of zoning? To prevent uncompatible uses being side by side. To prevent whatever you want, industrial next to someone's home. That's the basis of it. That's why Dickinson County went to zoning in 1975 or 77, whichever one it was. The people gave up some of their rights to do whatever I want on my piece of ground in order to ensure that my neighbor next door doesn't do something that harms. Like, that's the basis of the zoning. So yes, we are appointed to advise you, but we are also appointed to represent the people's interests. in
See, that's where you and I might disagree a little bit. Because the way the Constitution reads doesn't say anything about that.
Which part?
You're entitled to your effects and property. Anyway, here's where I want to go.
We won't go there today.
Yeah, we won't. No, I wanted to explain it, I think, why the comments are not allowed and the reason behind it.
And
So-
I think if we've learned anything from history, we've seen a case where comments weren't allowed and you had a big mad mob show up. And some of that could have been prevented by just allowing some questions. And I'm not saying
Is
if
this
you,
something we did?
a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
2024.
The wind farm, but the comments were made to the county commission on a regular
Okay.
weekly basis.
So, you can set time limits, and that would be a suggestion I have. Let's give zoning 15 minutes of questions. Folks have questions, 15 minutes. If, to your point, if 200 people show up and they all have a minute, yeah, that's a lot of time. Are they 200 identical questions or unique questions? Maybe there's some overlap there.
Yeah.
But absolutely saying, we are not taking comment, we're not allowing it, that doesn't build trust, and that's what we need to do in this day and age.
How do your other commissioners feel about that topic?
Which time?
About allowing you guys to take questions? Does everyone feel that way?
Yeah, I'll make a motion and we'll vote. We can, you know,
What's the statutory rules behind, so CUPs they can't comment on?
CUPs, there's a public hearing process that's set, and that's what the public will.
Rezonings, subdivisions,
Yeah.
those types of things.
And what's the,
General discussions are not addressed in state statute.
okay. What
Well, I
is,
have a great appreciation for what you do and the others.
when
When you mentioned
I'm undermining, I'm not
21
trying to.
pages and so on, and I know you received lots of comments, and, you know, I received comments more where I live, and so it's not that I'm trying to exclude those that live in other parts of
And
the county, but you touch areas, and the others do, because we have board members from all parts of the county. We want a representation, and I think you do provide the ability to filter through some of those and get the scope, kind of keep it to the heart of the issue. And so, but it is difficult. And I know everyone wants to express their opinion, and I know there's a lot of people that would say I would never come to a meeting because I'm not going to get out in the public and say it. But yet they're taxpayers. They're also impacted by some of these decisions. And and I know our regulations for public comment, we try to do it in an orderly way that's helpful and such. But anyway, I appreciate you mentioning some of the other discussion that we had. Because a lot of times when someone says something, they know what they mean to say, but it may not quite sound like that. And then by the time the newspaper and someone else gets a hold of it, it kind of opens that up a little bit.
I don't know.
I am kind of interested in that comment you made about the 3-2-1, 3 years on, was it the solar and 2 years on nuclear reversed in 1 year?
as an example, right, that, you know, would allow you to tell us your priorities, what should go first, what.
Well, let me ask you while you're here. We're going to turn this into something a little different. So, in your opinion, do our residents want a data center in this county?
Well, I'm gonna.
Advise me,
We've
please.
talked before, it depends on what a data center is.
Okay.
What is a data center? Is it something in that closet, or is it something that covers 3,000 acres?
And you want, in your board, the board you serve with, wants 2 years to come up with an answer. And I'm not trying to attack you here. I'm
So,
trying to ask. a
no,
question.
I mean, my understanding of the way the last zoning meeting went was the solar moratorium didn't cover data centers.
This moratorium right here covers data centers.
Okay, is that the
This is the one that we're talking about today. So I'll read it for you. The clause 3, in other words, so what we would be ruling on. The Dickinson County Planning and Zoning Board is directed to review and update then a period of 18 months or 6 months. Now, these periods can be changed by the commission to whatever we want them to be. Data centers expires on this date, so this is rolling on 18-month, 6-month, each one gets 6 months. How it's written. That doesn't mean we can't change it. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, and I don't know where my fellow commissioners are, but yes, I kind of wanted different moratoriums for all of them. But
What we,
the timing for me, and I'm just going to be upfront and ask you, why 2 years?
what we voted on
That's a long time.
was an extension of the 6/4/24 text. We made no recommendations to changes to that text. And we didn't address the word moratorium when we talked about data centers on the agenda. We had our speaker, we had a little bit of discussion, but we tabled it. So can I speak for all 7? I'm not sure where they land. I can tell you where I land in that we see a data center can be a small closet to thousands of acres. One, we need a definition personally, and I've spent hours on this. The husband will say that's my new full-time job. But I can
By the way,
multitask when I'm on
I
AutoCAD.
want to thank you guys. I
Yes.
hope you don't interpret
no,
what I'm saying to you as I'm
No offense,
ungrateful
and
in
no
any
shade
way.
here. This is a healthy back and forth discussion. It's what democracy is supposed to be. So, and I'm sure Tim's looking too. What is a definition of a data center? I mean, everybody looks at it a little different. How long is it going to take to get that definition? I'm not sure. Probably a little bit of time. And then we look at, are we, the big ones, the bigger ones that take up land, what are their impacts? I see a lot of stuff, a lot of sources out there that say the impact might not be great. There are a lot of folks that don't like living next to them. Why? Why? Is it because they had no say? Is it because there's too much light at night? Is it because of the sound? I don't know why. That's why I'm asking for an industrial hygienist to help it lead us where, if it's known from Virginia or Texas or any of the other states that being too close to people is a problem, well, let's not repeat that mistake, right? Let's learn from their mistake and let's move on. So time-wise, I understand that things might want to move, but until we have a definition, and until we can see kind of what some of the impacts are and how to mitigate those and what that looks like for this county. I mean, personally, at least a year. Like you can't turn on the news or scroll through a news website without seeing her data center in the headlines. It's everywhere.
Doesn't help we're in an election year either, probably not.
Probably, I
Thanks
mean,
very much.
maybe not, but yeah, I would say a year to allow us to do our job.
I think the year sounds reasonable, but I think if I interpreted, Kenny, what you mentioned the other week is, if we make it 2 years, that we still need to address it. We don't want it to be something where we don't do anything or we just kind of coast
And I don't think.
for a year, and then all of a sudden when it gets close to the deadline, we start, getting more serious about it. So I like the idea. And I think the data centers, that's probably the number one of the 3.
I agree.
For right now. But,
And I don't think county and Tim and the board has coasted. If you think about what's happened in this county since 6/4/24, that's pretty big issues. Tim's been really busy. So, time-wise.
yes, nod your head, yes.
Yeah, I mean, things come out of left field. Like in 24, we didn't know what a data center was. It wasn't on our radar. So,
I'm very much in the private industry, so things to me, it's like 2 years, like you were just sitting there on a shelf and waiting. I mean, there's almost nothing you can't get planned in less than a year. I mean, there's some big projects maybe that take a little longer than that, but that's my only point. I'm going where he's at. 2 years to me seems like we're going to forget about it for 6 months and then come back to it. My thought was, let's get it done.
and I learned.
This is the issue. Let's get
And
this
I learned
figured out.
something from Aaron last time. If you're on a moratorium, you still need to talk about it. I mean, yes, other things took priority. And so if it's not on the agenda, Tim, in a month or 2, I'm sure it's going to be, but if solar's not on the agenda, we're start asking for it. But we're learning,
I think the commission is very resolute. I don't want to speak for the other 2 here that we need to get this figured out because it's coming.
And it doesn't mean we're just for it because like you say, there is a huge
Yes, we
difference.
want to study it,
Yes.
If something's going to take up a section of land versus
Yes.
condensed where it's more manageable.
Correct.
You know, I don't know that I want things stored over in China or Thailand or other parts of the world. We have a lot of sensitive information that probably USA is the place for it to be.
And there's some things that we cannot legally store in other countries too.
Tim?
Also, keep in mind, I'm your secretary.
Sure.
All right. So I'm not going to put something on the agenda for discussion unless you guys direct me also. I mean, I'm keeping track of what y'all are doing, but I rely a lot on the commission to say, Tim, you're our secretary. We want to discuss this at this point. To kind of go back to what you were talking about with the moratorium, kind of being allowed to expire that way. There's a reason that it was not totally without, I was busy that whole time. It was collecting information, but also keep in mind, we had the legal situation that was also preoccupying us that could have potentially impacted how you all review those alternative energy stuff. So depending on how the courts would have come down on it is going to, I wanted to wait till all that was out of the way also.
No,
because that could have impacted.
I'm not trying to say you guys are just sitting around doing nothing. That's not what I'm saying.
No, not to go that way.
Just to me, 2 years is a long time. So
A timeline, an established timeline is helpful. It's like setting a goal or it's something that it frames the pathway we're going to take. And I like your idea as far as the risk management part, and we might need a hydrologist also, but
I'm not opposed
At
to a
some point.
hydrologist, not whatsoever.
but I appreciate the clarification.
So how do we allow you guys to take questions?
We've already said that that's what we're going to do on text amendments. We'll have a time
Okay.
after the planning and zoning board discusses it.
And text amendments are regulations, right?
Correct.
Ron, we've kind of been talking and you listen, and I know have thoughts on it.
Well, I'll bring up the subject of the commissioners being at your meeting. And I was briefed and told that that is your meeting. Now, we do watch it on the web and stuff like that, but we don't intervene in your decision-making and things like, am I wrong?
That was what I was gonna say. I'm not trying to come in there. What I worry if one of us come in there, they're gonna quit looking at you and they're gonna come to us and go, what are you doing? Why aren't you do this? That's
What
what's
do you
gonna
think?
happen. And then we're gonna undermine the whole board. And then we don't want
It's
to
a
do that.
timeline.
That's not what we want to do.
Correct.
I said, yes, we passed the policy, but we also we want your advice, your true honor, without us influencing your advice. That's what I want.
They have to be careful not to influence, and so you guys can remain fair and impartial. So
Correct.
having the county commission there also is another
Ask Janelle.
public meeting.
I asked her if I should go, and she told me 3 times.
You visited us.
"Do not go." And I said, you sure? And she goes, I think it's going to cause more of a ruckus than it will help. So, and I agree. I think it would.
If you do come, if we say they're here as a citizen observing, I mean.
Yeah.
Great. I don't know that that's a huge problem. It's a fine line. I don't know.
I'm going to ditto what Rob said.
Say it with a huge broad brush of every time, but I think there are probably circumstances where it would be. All right.
So with zoning, and I know we look for different ways it's obviously ways to make money and help our community. But you could drop all that as far as I'm concerned. Just you guys concentrate on how do we make money? What can we do to pay our employees? How can we help our farmers and producers? And just to forget about all this other stuff.
That's our economic development. So
Okay, then we would step out of it then. But you know what I'm
And
saying?
then,
Turn
yeah,
them into
we
the
get to the
revenue
building block of
Right.
incompatible uses, right? Because if you have an incompatible use, people move away, and what happens if people move?
Absolutely.
Right.
And now the other thing is, on the farmer side of it, on the agriculture side, if a section of ground comes up, there's no 2 years waiting, it's sold fast and now. And there's no questions asked about whether they're going to put a hog operation on there or they're going to put a nuclear plant. Somebody buys that land and anybody can buy it.
And every land auction you go to, they're not making any more of it.
No, that's
Right.
right. So it goes crazy. I mean, it sells and it goes crazy. So there you are. So
And you don't know all the bidders.
You don't know the
No,
business.
you never know. That's happened.
So,
You do eventually.
anyway, we thank you.
Thank you for the discussion
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's other thoughts others have or here or online.
I was
Not seeing anybody's. got
just
hand
gonna kind of briefly, I'm not gonna read all these, but there is a number of emails dissenting and wanting us to pass the moratorium. I will publicly say that, probably more than that I'm looking at in mine alone, probably in the 10 to 15 range. So, I mean, we are hearing about it. I really wanted people to come in today and give me their real opinions and tell me why they don't want it. Like, I want to hear why. For me, data centers have been around for a long time. If you ever went to Colorado or Boulder and drove by it, the whole mountain's full of data centers. Like all those big concrete buildings are data centers. I go hunting out in Oregon, and you can drive through Salt Lake, you drive through Boise, huge data centers. They don't have any water.
How many homes?
There's no water in Idaho.
How many homes around?
Boise,
Yeah, or the date,
350,000 people.
how close are the homes?
It's right there,
Just right there.
right outside of town. I mean, like, you see the town. So I'm not saying they're good, right, or indifferent. I don't know. There's no data center calling me to buy my land, so I have no vested interest in this thing. So, that's my point. Like, I've seen them around. I know they can operate. So that's my whole question. And then the last thing I'd love to put out there, we are a free market economy. I believe in property rights. I don't want anyone telling me what I can do with my land. All right. That's my position. And I know it's probably not a popular one, but it is one of my positions. I'm a Republican. I believe in free market economy. I believe in property rights. And, so that's the public record.
Right, and I think the argument is, I don't think people will disagree, free market property rights.
Yep.
It's the right, the argument is it's the right to enjoy your land. And it comes to the incompatible uses, because in this day and age, think about 100 years ago. How many days did it take to plow 80 acres of ground? A couple days, in a week, not a week with a horse, right? What can we do today? We can turn over 80 acres real quick.
Yep.
Right? So as humans, we have the capacity to do a whole lot of damage in not much time. We can move really fast. We can have folks that don't think about what happens after you plow that ground and we get 12 inches of rain in a month. What happens? Gullies in this part of the world? How much water is down the creek or how much soil is gone? It still comes back to property rights. And yes, you need to be able to enjoy it, but it goes both ways. We shouldn't have negative health impacts from what a neighbor does.
I agree.
So it's balancing act. That's
My
what
groundwater is full of calcium and nitrates.
Yes. And maybe
I mean, we can
look at
go on
that.
it.
Right.
So I'm just trying to, make sure we're looking inwards while we're looking outwards. That's all I'm asking. To understand what I do, what I affect, and then what I'm saying to other people. That's all I asked for the advice. That we're taking it
If it was easy,
subjectively and not,
Right.
we're not objectively going after a certain end goal. That's all I ask, from my perspective.
So once this comment period is finished, that is later on our agenda that we're going to go ahead and consider the resolution in regards to the moratorium.
I don't think this is written.
So we
You
can,
want to table it and
we can
rewrite it,
amend it
or you can make some changes to
Make
the
changes.
dates in there.
currently it reads 6 months on the moratorium.
For each,
For each of
Just a-
these, it says it in section, the third part down at the bottom.
yeah, data centers to expire on January 1st, 2027. Battery energy storage expires June 30th, 2027, and renewable energies expire on December 31st, 2027. To provide additional guidelines and development areas with respect to those uses, except for those addressed in Article 21.
After that period, it can be renewed though, right?
That would be up to you guys.
That would be
Yeah,
up to
yeah,
you.
we can, yeah.
The planning and zoning board could come back and say, we need more time. I would
Right.
like for you to extend it.
And see, the same thing is, even if it was set at 2 years, that could be changed in a year to say, oh, we want it only.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
but I think what we're doing is signaling to the public also the pace that we're going and our attempts to gather information and gather feedback. And then, that way it's done in a timely way. The
Agendas.
I wrote it down. So what is the expense on something like that?
We're going to find out. We have a call set up next week to have that discussion. I have no idea what it's gonna be.
And
We haven't spent any money thus far.
Where would that money, I mean, it's valuable money. I mean, it's important to
It just come
spend.
out of the general fund or the cash reserves.
Okay.
Depends on what the expense is, but they've not given us anything like that.
So any idea on what that does to the timeline? I mean, we aren't going to have someone come in a month from now or a week
No,
from
we
now.
would have to be scheduled and we would have to coordinate, but I said it wouldn't, if we can get it done within 6 months, yeah. And how it's worded now, on the moratorium.
Mhm.
I'll be open real quick. I'll be open, Lynn. I know I'm combating here. It seems I'm being combative. I'm leaning towards 2 years. That just kind of convinced me. Yes. I don't know where you guys are, but my thought. My thought is if you guys are really going to give this a really good effort and go about it in the correct manner, I'm willing to capitulate and give you 2 years if you think that's what it's going to take.
It gives us that buffer.
So let me ask, 2 years for data centers?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. in a second.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys
What's
feel.
your priority of, what's the list? Data
I think we know where
centers,
renewables at.
Right.
I know what people want there, but I think I know what you're gonna suggest, but priority.
Tim, timeline, Saline County's going through the same thing.
Yes,
So do you have
they have 3 years.
They get a 3.
they have 3 years and they have 1 year on each one?
1 year on each one of those.
And what did Pot do?
I don't know yet.
Okay, we're getting those right.
So let's,
We ought to do it that way. So what if we did 3 year, the first one in a year be renewable? I would think we're somewhere there. Or no.
Renewable's very broad.
So battery?
I don't know. Renewable covers a lot.
Renewable could, and here's the thing about renewables, and this is something I'm gonna try to explain to the planning. You've got to understand something about that industry, not only the renewable industry, but also the energy sector in general. They operate on a different timeline than retail, wholesale, or any of these other businesses that go. You're going to have to keep in mind that when if someone comes in and says, okay, I want to do X, Y, and Z, they may not have all their engineering studies and things done that you would want to see, because that's the way the industry works. They can't get approval at the state or federal level or start that paperwork until they get approved down here. So what I would recommend is, and this is going to be one of the options that you guys will be presented and that you will consider, is kind of a short form, and this is what other counties, from what I have seen, kind of a short form version that would kind of catch all those alternative energy sources in one, because it's all going to go through a conditional use permit anyway. And so an application would come in front of you, and if you don't like, what's being proposed or whatever, you can always ask for more information from an applicant. You can always ask for, hey, look, we don't really like this right now, come back in a year, something like that. But I said,
Will our regulations have the strength and support to back the zoning board in saying, we want to wait a year, we want more information?
How do you guys feel about
if
that?
someone comes, I'm saying that if you go with this short form version that I'm talking about,
By updating the regulations
Updating
to
the
have a little bit
regulations to have
vague.
kind of
Oh,
a-
3 years.
Kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
You have more than enough information there to say, hey, look, I need more information based on what you're trying to, say. So then that way you can say, come back in a year, come back. Put the burden on the applicant.
Right.
Tell the applicant, bring your information in.
If it's written where the burden is placed on the applicant and Dickinson County is supported and secured and defended that it won't be challenged by a mega developer, then that sounds very positive.
Yes,
It's just making sure that language
yes.
is there.
But
right?
you have to be mindful though, that the energy sector is a whole different part of the economy, and they work at a different pace than any other use does. And so that's all I can tell you. And so like when you get really detailed regulations in there that say, okay, we want this, and this, and this, and this to look at, I'm not gonna get it.
So to keep this moving along on the conversation, I think that there's two things we have to do, options. Yeah, I mean, there's more than that, but two, I think we could consider, do we remand this back to PBZ for a timeline based on more, we're gonna do one first and one second and one third, or do we just table this and plug in kind of the timeline that's based on the discussion today?
I have a proposal. And then I think you guys, let's answer that question.
Okay.
I think we go similar to what Celine did. We go on a 3-year with a 1-1-1. Battery or alternative, you guys pick what's your first. I think we give you a year. We give data centers 2. And my thought was alternative 3. And that way you can,
Battery or data first and then battery?
and that's not what I'm hearing. So I'm going to stick it in the middle. Was my thought, but it's counter to what I would like, if I'm being real honest, but we're a county, we're a community, we got to work together. So, compromise is needed.
And you have your meetings, and I mean, it's tough for you to find, I mean, I'm not saying for you, but to get a group like that to meet.
Exactly.
Because everybody has a busy schedule, and I mean, this is.
It's March on the calendar.
I give you a year to focus on each issue.
It gives us 12 meetings.
But there's a lot of information.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, so it's heavy lifting.
And I think agendas should be, obviously you got to deal with business as it comes in, but it should be set to accommodate that.
So this could be tabled until the 23rd. The PBZ meets on the 16th. That will give time for the Planning and Zoning Board to consider at least the 3-year with year, and kind of get a priority, and then bring it back to you. And if you don't agree with that priority, you can change it based on what.
Accomplish both.
Right. And then also gives times for county council to take a look as well.
Because my understanding, what you're considering, that text is different than the 6.
Yeah, we would not vote.
Okay, yes.
We're going
This will be
to
tabled.
probably we're going to motion to table.
Yeah, sure. Sounds like compromise.
And would it be tabled, or are we?
We're going to rescind it back, right?
You can, you could resend it back because you're going to make a change to the resolution.
Return it
So
to the board. with
We're going to ask for another,
recommended-
we're going to ask for another.
Another pass at that. Yep.
1-1-1, you said?
Yeah,
For each.
Commissioners? I think so, yeah.
with direction from, or recommendations from the PBZ to determine what number 1, number
What
2,
order?
or 3.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one would go first?
Yeah,
We'll find out from the hygienist.
just sounds weird.
Look at that. Keep your feet clean.
Well, I know, that's what I'm thinking when you said that. I was like, what? Call
It's
that
a thing.
good.
I didn't know it was very recently. It is a thing. So. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Barb.
Is it appropriate for me to make a comment?
Come on up.
Well, I guess the concern that I have is that water is not renewable. And just to give you an example, we've got a pasture, it's got a pond in it. We've had it for 30 years or more. And the pond has never gone down its spring fed. never gone down, but maybe 6, 8 inches most of the time. This year was down about 4 feet. And in the last 5 or 6 years, there have been 2 wells put in, which are the water district, in which they're a big hole and everything is fine, but the water table was pulled down. I know another example, somebody else had the same deal, that it affected their well. I recently read an article, and of course, I have no idea how true it is, but a major city in Arizona was putting in a data center, and it was going to take the same amount of electricity and water as a city. And there's one in western Kansas the same way that I've read about. And so I think the energy probably can take care of itself. But the water, no. It's gone and it's gone. That's all my thinking.
No, thank you.
Oh, Arden, can you give, usually we get the address on public comments too, just.
You gotta give
You're
your
from
name and where you
Solomon
live.
area. You're from Solomon,
Yeah,
so she can record that.
Thank you.
you need my address?
You can just say where
You
you're from.
signed in, so
I
you got
did
that.
put my address on.
Oh, okay,
I don't usually put the address in the
You just
minutes,
put the-
just the name and the
Okay.
comment.
okay.
We're all real curious. He's my neighbor, so if you want to find him, just come find me, go find him.
Thank you.
I'm just checking to see if there are other issues.
Are we still open for public comment?
Absolutely. I was just about to close it, so good timing.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Annabelle Eaton, 908 South Bridge Street. Barb pretty much covered all the stuff that I was going to talk about. But the one thing that she didn't touch on is that we must carefully consider the legacy that we're going to be leaving behind for the choices that we make today for our grandchildren, our children. We need to think about that really, really hard, because the impacts of your choices now, you don't know the ramifications of it later down the road. Legacy is a big thing. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's gonna be a long discussion. I think it's gonna take us some years to get through.
Job security.
So, well, you do, you do. So, and I want to say something. We're all community guys. I see you guys in the grocery stores, and let's be civil. We can get to an agreement here without yelling at our neighbors and calling each other colorful names. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I don't believe we have any more comments. Reports from county officers, County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, county employees are aware and taking precautions with the heat advisory, and I would hope all of our citizens are as well. It's been pretty brutal, and I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg with that, so to speak. The emergency manager is working on the emergency operations plan, and we continue with the disaster and debris management as well. Public Works Department's repaired the structure at 500 Avenue and Paint Road, and that is now open. I'd reported on that last week. They are currently repairing one at Deer and 300 Avenue. They're mowing. And county departments will be closed on July 3rd in observance of the 4th of July, but the transfer station will be open tomorrow. So I would hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July. Do you have any questions for me?
Do not. Thank you. Thank you. I zoomed in too much. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Notice of communication, County Clerk Jennifer Gaten.
I want to remind everybody that the last day to register to vote for the August primary election is July 14th. Early in-person and by mail voting starts July 15th in the county clerk's office. Sample ballots are available at our office, or you can go online at Voter View. If anyone would like a ballot by mail, please contact our office at 785-263-3774 option 2, or if you're interested in being a poll worker, you could also contact us at that number as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, let's get down to our resolution. Resolution 070226, which is an amending resolution of 020124, establishing fees for judges and clerks of the elections and providing mileage for supervising judge. I believe the proposed was going from, was it 145?
145.
145 to 165, and then training from 20 to 30.
And then the IRS mileage rate, I don't remember what that's at, but
72.5 cents.
okay.
Which-
Yeah, and that changes every year, so.
Yeah.
My first and probably only question is, what does this do to, is this your budget?
Yes, elections.
What does it do to you?
I'm fine for next year.
Okay.
Yep.
What's?
Nothing, I just knew that was coming.
Guys, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
did that before I proposed it.
I would move we adopt resolution 070226A, I guess it still would be, even though we did the other.
Just
leave the A off.
070226.
And that has to do with establishing the fees for the judges and clerks of elections and providing mileage for the supervising judge.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Second from Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Ron. you can just put that. Next up, if you guys were watching earlier, you probably heard quite a bit about our next resolution, 070226A, providing the temporary moratorium on commercial data centers, battery energy storage systems, and large-scale renewable energy technology. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion here. I motion that we resend this back to the advisory committee, to the planning and zoning committee, sorry, to work on a 3-year moratorium with each provision having a year timeline. What I believe I'm hearing, and I don't want to speak for my commissioners here, but I believe what we're asking and directing them to do is to give us that timeline, what they would like to see come off in the first year and the second year and the third. There's a general comment. I think this gives you guys time to focus on each issue a year at a time. That's 12 meetings. I hope that is sufficient amount of time. That's a lot of time, a lot of Tim's time. That would be a motion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. I'll make a last note. Barb, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just trying to be every angle. So thank you for what you guys do.
This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have the debate.
I appreciated it. So, all right.
Actually, I thought the back and forth went really well because, I mean, I've been in meetings where you can tell, I mean, it was just, I think just getting the ideas and blending them together and trying to get it all figured out.
It's gone worse.
No, I just appreciated the professionalism on both sides. It just, I thought it went well. I like that type of back and forth. And,
I meant what I said. I really want folks to come here and tell us. There's something different about hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I know it's hard to get here. I don't know if my fellow commissioners are open to this. I'm inviting a late night, but I think if we do have a big issue and you guys think it's big enough where we need to call a different time of meeting, maybe, I don't know, I'm open to it.
I understand. Let us make sure that we're following the regulations and the statutes correctly before we do something.
I think it'd be more of a hearing than it would be an actual meeting. I think we would do the meeting Thursday, maybe have a hearing.
Like a work session.
Yes, like where we allow you to come in and we're only talking about this issue. And that was what I had in mind, not actually conducting.
I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing the proper way.
No, we're not going to vote. No, we take those comments.
Right.
I think we should do that. And if you think we should, let's talk about it.
I agree.
and the subject matter sometimes, I mean, that would be a good idea.
I don't know if I want to do it every week, but okay, I'll stop. Any more agenda or anything to bring up, commissioners?
I move we adjourn.
Motion, I'll second it. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Huh? We don't have to. Motion and a second is an adjournment.
Okay, so.